If you hear these words, know this. It is no mere coincidence, but an echo, an unseen resonance. Your soul, like a long-forgotten instrument, has responded to this call. Before we cross the threshold of the most sacred, I ask you to make a choice. Like this video, it is not just approval. It is a declaration of your intent, your first step. Subscribe, and you will join the ranks of those who dared to seek, who are not content with the obvious. From childhood, we are taught that we live in a cozy, sun-drenched world, where our Earth is not just the cradle of life, but the center of the universe. And the moon is our eternal, silent companion, a silent witness to all our joys and sorrows, our triumphs and our falls. But what if this is merely a carefully woven curtain? A crude, deceitful veil hiding a truth so ancient and terrifying that its very comprehension can tear apart the familiar fabric of reality. What if the one who gazes down upon us from the heavens every night, whose cold, silvery radiance pierces our darkest hours, is not a satellite, as we are accustomed to believe? What if it is the spectral reflection of something entirely different, something that should have long since vanished, yet somehow continues its spectral, lifeless existence? Before us lies a corpse, suspended in the silent void, cold, stony, like a disk. The moon. They say she is young, born from a fiery impact that shattered proto-Earth, and a peer to our planet. But what if that is merely a lie, one of the age-old mystifications that they feed us from birth? Perhaps you have heard the name Helena Blavatsky. Her words touched upon matters that do not fit within the neat rows of academic science. She spoke of cycles, of long-lost races, of depths of space inaccessible to modern instruments, but revealed to ancient prophets and mystics. And she spoke of the moon. She said the moon is older than Earth, not merely older, but by entire orders of magnitude, by eons ahead of it in its existence. And this is no natural satellite, but an artifact, remains, the traces of a civilization that survived its own doomsday. Imagine a planet that once shone with its own light, alive, breathing, inhabited by beings whose consciousness stretched far beyond our comprehension. And this planet perished, destroyed, perhaps by its own might, perhaps by an external enemy whose name we have forgotten, or perhaps never even knew. And at the moment of its utter annihilation, in its final, agonizing instant, something of it was preserved, something we now perceive as the moon. And this isn't merely a metaphor. This key unlocks the doors to understanding everything unfolding, why our reality feels so artificial, unreal, why we feel like uninvited guests on land we consider home. This moon, which we witness each night, is no mere silent stone in the sky. It is a powerful anchor, an anchor that imperceptibly holds us within this invisible prison of our consciousness. It's like a beacon, ever watchful for those who once ruled these lands absolutely, an eternal reminder that this place still belongs to them. Recall the ancient myths and legends, tales of mysterious underground worlds, of realms where the souls of the departed reside, of celestial bodies intricately linked to mystical, otherworldly forces. All of this is far from mere figments of imagination or simple fairy tales. These are echoes, fragments of memory, distorted yet striving to point towards the true essence of our existence. Within the Tablets of Hermes, in that very volume discovered among the ruins of the once great Library of Alexandria, lies a phrase most consider a lofty allegory. But delving deeper, it speaks of matters quite real. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to accomplish the miracles of the one thing. What if this one thing is our very soul, locked within a mortal shell, and below and above refer to our visible material world and that unknown, unfathomable reality of which we were once a part? Now, imagine this. Somewhere in the most secluded corners of ancient archives, amidst dusty folders marked Top Secret, lies a document known as the Artemis Protocol. According to the scraps of information we have managed to gather and verify, it speaks not of simple lunar expeditions. Instead, it describes attempts to comprehend the very nature of our nocturnal companion. The document speaks of astounding energy signatures for which no earthly explanation can be found. It mentions anomalies in the gravitational field that defy all known laws of physics. The scientists, the few who dared to ask the uncomfortable questions, either vanished without a trace or were utterly discredited. Their discoveries were quietly relegated to the farthest shelves, and they themselves sank into the abyss of oblivion. They strive with all their might to shield us from the truth. They do not want us to see what lies hidden behind the impersonal pallor of the night sky. And this is far from just another scientific mystery shrouded in secrecy. Rather, what unfolds before us is true technocratic mysticism, laid bare in its primal essence. Allow yourself to see how intricate fractal patterns manifest in the interweaving of geopolitical events, how the subtlest collapse of quantum probabilities echoes in the most intimate corners of our personal destinies. And all this astonishing connection, all this unseen mechanism, is deeply rooted in what often eludes our ordinary, visible world. Before us unfolds a remarkable fusion of ancient, age-old wisdom and the most advanced, albeit carefully concealed, technologies. Imagine how the rhythms of solar cycles, their relentless march, directly influence the noosphere, the very collective consciousness of humanity. And the moon, Earth's eternal companion? The moon is not merely a celestial body, but a kind of focal point, a nexus where countless threads of existence converge. Recall that inexplicable, piercing anxiety that often grips you in the dead of night, precisely at 3 a.m, or that oppressive sense of alienation that washes over you when you gaze dispassionately at the faces of passers-by on a bustling street. It's as if they are not living people, but mere skilled masks, artfully hiding a hollow emptiness within. This strange, unsettling feeling, as if something vital is missing, as if your most precious memories have been stolen. This is not melancholy, not ordinary worry. This is your very soul, suffocating within these artificial walls, within this crafted illusion, keenly reacting to the presence of something that should not be here. Your true self has not forgotten the light of another planet, recalling other, freer lives. And this unseen but tangible phantom, this lifeless shell hanging over our world, oppresses it, depriving it of strength. We exist in a reality where ruling circles distort the truth, where the past is rewritten at their dictation, where scientific achievements serve not the search for truth, but the consolidation of power. And it is the moon, the greatest of their age-old delusions. They use it. They use its hidden energy, its mysterious influence, to keep us under control, to feed our dependence on their cunning system. The assertion that the moon is older than Earth is not just an esoteric fabrication. Here is the key to understanding why our world seems so sick. But what if all these terrible manifestations, wars, crises, pandemics, are merely deceptive shadows dancing on the wall of a cave? What if the true tyrant, the source of all troubles, is looking at you from your own mirror? What if your own consciousness, shackled by the chains of ignorance, is the main prisoner in this dungeon? We stubbornly search for enemies without, among other people, in circumstances, but the true adversary is our own, still sleeping nature, The universe does not inflict punishment upon humanity. It, like a wise healer, burns away accumulated poison, the poison of fear, ignorance, and blind materialism. What we so often perceive as destructive chaos is, in reality, a grand, universal surgical operation. Everything around seems to be falling apart, but only to then reassemble in its true, undistorted form. The crown of glass is the fragile shell of our ego, our deceptive self-perception. Metallic veins are the cold, soulless, mechanistic structure attempting to absorb us, and the moon is the very core of this system, its unshakable pillar. Prophets did not see individuals. They saw an entire army of awakened souls. They saw you. You are not merely a part of a grand prophecy. You are its embodiment. What seemed like a fateful end is, in truth, just the beginning of a new path. The moon is older than the earth itself, and this is not cause for despair, but rather the most significant impetus for awakening. This is the revelation that can set us free. Prophecies, ancient texts, mystical revelations, all of them, as one, point to a single truth. They do not foretell the appearance of some savior who will come from without. No, they offer us instructions for awakening that which is already hidden deep within each of us. The moon is not just Earth's silent companion. She is a true textbook. A textbook revealing paths to survival in a world of illusions. A world inexorably leaning towards twilight. And when this decaying system, holding everything in its unseen grip, finally collapses, we will be ready. We don't need an external hero to endure the coming changes. We don't need a guide to lead us by the hand. We need our own unbreakable strength, our own unshakable truth. The moon, whose history predates Earth itself, is not a dark mystery, but rather a beckoning invitation. An invitation to look through the veil of lies, to remember who we truly are in our primordial essence. And now that your eyes are finally open, you cannot remain inactive. Your like is like a brief, yet brilliant flash of light that travels across the entire network, becoming a distant beacon for other lost souls seeking their way. Your share is a tiny seed, planted with hope in the desert of dormant minds, believing it will surely take root and flourish. And your subscription is a true oath, a firm promise not to turn away from the truth, whatever it may be. If you feel ready to move forward, our inner circle is your operational base, your headquarters. And your support through super thanks is pure energy, fueling our collective flame in this unending battle against encroaching darkness, a battle for the true awakening of all humanity. Until we meet again, dear listeners, always remain conscious, stay connected to one another, and